Good afternoon. It's Independence Day. I don't know about you, but I'd like some independence from these politicians. Politicians who are now trying to convince us to vote ourselves a 14.2% sales tax increase to fund transportation. Well, they haven't been spending the transportation funds wisely. DOT lost control of its commitments several years ago, spent all the money ahead, and ran out of money to do these projects, and that's why they want this tax increase. It's to bail DOT out from their failed policies and their bad accounting. It was so bad that Governor Sonny Perdue said that DOT was guilty of Enron accounting. And it was just about that bad. And over the years, we've seen how the state handles funds. The tire fund was mismanaged, the money was spent somewhere else. The 9/11 fund, the money was spent somewhere else. The tobacco fund, all that money's gone somewhere else. So you cannot trust these politicians. That's been the message. The message out of Atlanta last week where a poll was done was that the people did not trust the politicians. And for very good reason, because of this history of dastardly performance when it comes to trust funds. In other words, we Georgians can't trust the politicians with the trust funds. And that's why they set up this whole convoluted mechanism. And right out of the chute, we found deception. Because if you look at the T-Splost statistics, the proponent statistics, the revenue's not going to be there. The growth in revenue's not going to be there. Because the growth rates in personal income, which they largely base these figures on, are running about half what these folks said they would be. In fact, their base case scenario next year is based on 8% income growth. Now, where on earth is that happening? Bureaucrats and politicians might be able to get 8% increases by some hook or crook. But folks out here in the real world are having a real struggle to get even 0.5%, much less 8% in a year. I don't think that's going to happen. They are running scared because this thing is running so far in the hole from here to Atlanta that it is in real danger of being defeated. But we have to stay on our guard because the Connect Georgia 2012 and these TSplost lobbying groups have got $8 million that they're poised to pour into a media campaign beginning next week. And I hope you won't listen to them because the folks that benefit from this are the bureaucrats and the politicians that have been wasting our transportation money for years. 3 weeks ago, my cousin sent me an article and it said that DOT and DNR were spending $700,000 to $750,000 on trip wires so they could measure the bear population in South Georgia. And the reason they were doing that, they were going to construct a road across these migration lanes, and they wanted to make sure they know where to put the bear underpasses. Now, I don't know if bears read signs or how the bears will know to go to those underpasses instead of just rambling across the road. But at any rate, that's the idea. And then the U.S. Department of Transportation has these enhancement funds. And up in Oglethorpe County, my cousin tells me that they refurbished an old railroad depot. Now, what does that have to do with roads and transportation improvement? Now, Secretary of State Brian Kemp has caught a lot of heat and a lot of flack for this preamble they have put on this voting measure. It talks about in order to create jobs. Well, the only jobs that I can find that are going to be created are inside DOT and a whole new level of regional government. All these politicians are drooling over that because beginning next week on July 9th and continuing through Election Day, July 31st, I hope everybody that votes will vote no on TSplost. Save yourself from a 14% tax increase that you can't afford. Save the state from more bureaucratic ineptitude. Save us all from wasting tax revenue like DOT's been doing. Thank you.